Yeah, long story short, it's someone that you want to have a conversation with for the rest of your life and sometimes let them put their penis inside you.
Does he have a big dick?
What I like about his dick is that it's curved. It just hits the right spot every time.
Hey besties, welcome back to another episode of Almost Adulting with me, your host, Viola Benson. So today we have a very special guest, one of my favorite ladies who has done it all from stand-up comedy tours to Bravo's TV hit show, Summer House, to hosting her own podcast, Berning in Hell. You guys know her and love her, Hannah Berner.
I'm so happy to be back. Like, I feel like you'd be sick of me by now because I'm sick of myself, but here we are.
Well, because you didn't invite me to the wedding, I had some time away from you. So
interesting. You know, I just know that like you're so busy. You're going to Greece and stuff, and I figured Hamptons and Greece in the same month would be like too much for you.
Well, yeah. Although technically your wedding is way before I went to Greece, but technically I would have still said no.
We only invited 150.
Okay, fair.
If I were to do it again and invite more friends, you would 100% be on the list.
You have 150 friends?
No, that was mostly family.
You have 150 members of your family?
No. Okay, I invited some friends.
Okay.
Look, the whole wedding invite thing, I'm actually such a people pleaser. Like, if you had DM'd me and been like, wait, I'm not coming, I would have been like, yeah, you're coming. Like, I would have just added you to the list. And you would have called me out. I was like, come. If it's going to be an issue, just come.
But someone did ask me the other day if I was invited to a wedding.
So I'm starting drama.
I was embarrassed and I lied. I said, yeah, I just couldn't make it.
You know what? I'm obsessed with that for you. Because sometimes I feel like influencers and reality TV people fight when it's the people in the DMs being like, did you hear so-and-so say this about you? And then you listen to the clip and like they didn't even say anything. Like they love to start shit.
I know, exactly.
And you know what? We love that for them. Keep your life fun and chaotic. I'm obsessed with you. I feel like we have a very natural friendship. Like we don't have to try.
I feel like I'm one of your biggest fans now.
What?
Isn't that obvious?
You're my fan?
Yeah, isn't that obvious?
I can't handle this kind of like compliment.
Oh, okay. Okay, so
I like when you I like when you're mean to me.
I've been like doing this thing where I'm nicer to people now.
Because I'm your fan.
That's so funny.
I probably told you this, but I remember the first time I saw Violet was when I was like working at Betches. I was like one of the little minions on my computer, and we have people come in and they're always like big time, you know, for interviews. And you walked in, you're wearing these leather boots that over the knee. You looked like you were a 10-foot tall supermodel. You had the longest ponytail. And I was like, oh my God, this is like a real celebrity. Like I literally was like, oh my God, what is life like to be like Violet?
And
like,
now you know, because it's even better for you.
And now I'm just hanging with this girl. No, but I like looked up to you because you're this badass entrepreneur. You're just doing press in the city. You're just going from place to place looking fucking hot as shit. And I manifested to surround myself with women like you.
That is so sweet. That's really sweet.
And I'm part Russian and Jewish, so like we're
literally, yeah,
we're sisters.
But you know what I've realized is that when you manifest things, it's so much better if you get jealous of someone, because sometimes I get jealous of certain people if they're I have those moments I'm like, oh, that's not fair. Why did they get this and this? But I've realized that goes against manifesting, because then you're looking at someone who's more successful than you and you're almost saying, I don't want to be that successful, because you're hating on them. So instead, if you're kind of like, oh, I want to have more friends like this, or I want to be like that, then you're actually manifesting to be that person.
Yeah, instead of seeing someone and like wanting bad for them, be like, I want them to be in my circle. Because then you just really become more powerful. Maybe I'm just trying to start a cult, but...
I just talked about cults on my Spotify live show, Hey Besties,
check it out.
Thursday night at 7 p.m. It's tonight. It's live at 7 p.m. Anyway.
PST? PTS?
PT.
BTS?
10 ET. I talked about cults. I think I would be the perfect cult leader. Yeah.
Why?
Okay, here's an example.
Yeah.
When I see girls on Instagram, they're always posting stories of homes and love books, how to be more loving, all that. I literally just bought a book called 48 Laws of Power. And it was just so I can figure out how to be a
cult leader.
No.
I mean, well, we are, I joke, like Giggly Squad and stuff is kind of a cult. As in, you're a voice that inspires people. And with great power comes great responsibility. Like the shit you put out into the universe affects people. I have a whole new stand-up bit right now about how bachelorette parties are cults.
I watched
And it's
that.
so fucking true though.
So true. Say it.
Okay, so right
I
now,
love it.
Okay, I'll do it. So bachelorette parties are called, because I had a bachelorette party, and you feel a power. Like, and I say it's a thin line between being a queen and a cunt. Like, you can use that power for good or evil. And you get these girls to go to an undisclosed location. They're getting drunk. They haven't spoken to their families in days. They're spent hundreds of dollars for you. And if they like decide like, oh, I don't like this, they get shamed. Like, oh, do you not support Stephanie? And you're like, no, I support Stephanie. I'm here for Stephanie. And then you're giving speeches about how great Stephanie is. And like, Stephanie's not even that great. You've just known her for a long time, since second grade, and you have to be there. And then you all wear the same clothes and the same colors, and it's like, you're not even hiding. And then I just say Scientology started in Charleston.
That's so funny. Yeah, you were like, and then a couple of days later, you're like, why am I even here? What is this about?
Yeah, you're like, and then she's like yelling at people, and you're like, it's okay, she's under a lot of stress. And then you're like, no, that's not okay. And someone's like, oh, have you turned on Stephanie? And you're like, I'm here for Stephanie.
I support Stephanie. I would never.
You're afraid to like get out of line.
You wear matching shirts that say Stephanie on it. Yeah. Stephanie's my queen.
You just start donating all your money to Stephanie for like her. But I have to say, the wedding, someone said like, if you have a bridal shower, like, you're selfish. There's just so many events to get money out of people. And I guess it's from like, most people when they were younger years ago, you're starting your first home and stuff. But nowadays, like, I already had an apartment and that I had bought stuff for. I didn't need like forks.
Yeah.
We just had like a honeymoon fund.
My friend is doing that too, although technically we're going to Greece. I mean, just to fly to Greece and then be there, and afterwards all going to Mykonos together. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like 80 people, 80 of us. It's kind of insane. But just that alone, not including all the extra stuff, cost me over $10,000.
Shut the fuck up.
But I didn't realize it cost me over $10,000 because luckily I was like paying like this month for this thing, this month for this thing. So then you're like not processing it as much.
It's also a gatekeeping thing though, because they're like, let's see who either is rich enough or who really loves us the most. So people who can't, they're just like, sorry.
Yeah, I would definitely have my wedding in Europe or somewhere far, so then to make sure a lot of people can't come.
Yeah, I agree. But this is the thing. Some people are like, I don't want to have a wedding. I just want to spend money on like traveling and honeymoon. I totally get that. But I used to be like, are marriages chuggy? Are they anti-feminist? Like, it just seems like, I don't need like a dowry. I don't need my dad to hand me over to someone. That's bullshit. But the actual ceremony and tradition is actually kind of beautiful. And like, I actually feel closer to my man after it.
Aww.
When I was the ultimate, I was like, I don't want any corny wedding shit. But I actually got nervous during the vows. And like, I perform in front of hundreds of people, and I was literally nervous with my vows. I had adrenaline, and it was just a beautiful, like, people joke that you'll be like, do you still like me on the wedding day? But it was like this really nice closure of like, wow, this wasn't a joke. This man actually wants to spend the rest of his life with me. For now. Once we divorced and we decided it's a bit. But but yeah, it was a nice thing. But you could have a small wedding. We had 150 people, which was nice because like I got to see everyone, but I wasn't expected to like spend time with everyone.
Oh, that's okay. So every time I do any type of event, it should just be a wedding.
Yeah.
So people don't talk to me.
Yeah. But I
just wave.
Yes.
People look at me, I wave, and then I walk away, and I'm like a little queen violet.
I did a bachelorette and I did a wedding. Because you're talking to so many people, I didn't have time to eat. So you barely have time to drink. One of my friends was just giving me espresso martinis. The best part of the wedding was the after party, when you can let loose and you don't have to like check on people or like do certain things, and you could just fucking party.
But how do you not get too drunk? Because like I can't really party anymore. Mm-hmm. So now if I have 2 glasses of wine, I will fall asleep. So that worries me. I mean, luckily I don't even have a man.
My biggest advice on the wedding
I'm fine.
for when you do your drink water. I was just like so dehydrated. Just drink water, maybe have 1 drink, and then after party, like get messy.
Oh, because you have so much adrenaline in your body. You don't even need alcohol right now.
No,
just, like,
you are so lit, and you want to remember things, and you'll know when you're like, I kind of want a drink. You're not taking shots and stuff. And also, we were like giving speeches. It all went by so fucking fast, but it was.
Was it hard to write your vows?
So he's Irish, and the Irish tradition was actually to like give a speech. So we did like basic vows, and then we gave speeches and
to the audience,
kind of to each other with everyone watching.
So you have to write 2 things.
I did the vows. We just did like a basic, like what the judge wanted. So we Des like was killing it in his speech. We're comedians, so he was just murdering, like laughs per minute like crazy, like ba 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 ba. And I literally during the speech he made fun of me because I realized, fuck, I'm up next and I can't bomb after he crushes. Right. So I'm looking at my notes and he's like, she's not listening because she's preparing for her speech next. And I was like, fuck you, babe. But I got up there and it was like I started kind of slow, and then but I had a ringer. I basically got an applause break, which beats him because he's older than me. So I was like,
an applause break? What does
an applause
that mean?
break means like people are laughing so hard that they start clapping.
Wow, you won.
So I won. But people at first were like, oh no, can she keep up with that? My joke that I said was something along the lines of like, you know, he's older than me. And sometimes I wish that I could have experienced some of his earlier life with him, but I know it made him the person he is today. And also, if I'd met him in college, I would have been in kindergarten. And everyone was like, and then I was like, let's end it on top. Goodbye. Let's get drunk. Bye.
That is so funny.
It was pretty like low hanging fruit joke because he's 15 years older, but like I had to do it.
He's 15 years older?
Yeah. Well, he's actually 46 right now and I'm 30. But I love an older man. I could totally see you with a zaddy.
I realize now the dating younger guys is not it. Well, like I remember
they're fun.
A few years ago, I think maybe I was 29 and I was talking to a 24-year-old, and then we're like, after we finish having sex, he looks at me and he goes, you know, that's so crazy. I was just like, is her shit gonna sag? Like, is it gonna be weird? Is her skin gonna be weird? But like, your skin's so soft and like everything's just perfect. And I was just like laying there thinking like,
I'm not geriatric.
Can the ground just open up and suck me in? Because I want to die right now.
That reminds me, at this last stand-up show, some girl was like, I was like, oh, it's your birthday? How old are you? And she's like, 25. And I'm like, oh, I'm 30. And she's like, you look so good for 30. I'm like, bitch, it's 5 years. Also, I feel like girls in their 30s and 40s look the best because like you have no baby fat, you're confident, dude.
I get that. So when people think I'm in my early 20s, so when I'm like, no, I'm 32, going on 33, and they're like, what? But that's so crazy because you look so young and hot.
That's literally age. The media would make like 33-year-old woman look so fucking old.
Yeah, because if I was an actor, I would be on TV playing someone's grandma. And then there would be a guy 20 years older than me playing someone like my daughter's love interest.
That's how the media fucked us up. People in their mid-20s are playing the teenagers, and then people in their 50s are playing like the parents in their 30s, and that's not real life. Girls in their 30s are the fucking hottest. But I do think I'm out here like a missionary trying to get girls to date older guys. I just think like you learn from them. They're pre-trained. And for you, someone who is very successful in their own right, you need to be with someone who's secure in their own self. And older guys tend to be more secure with themselves.
That's so true. You know what's so weird? You know how you were like, don't be too nice to me? Every time you give me a compliment, it throws me off, and I just want to giggle and be like, stop. And I'm like, that is such a thing that women do.
I also think we both use humor to feel like comfortable, as like it's a little bit of a intimacy thing, like where like if I'm too nice to you, it means I don't like you. I'm being like fake. I'm like, oh my god, thanks for having me. But if I shit on you, you know, like I like you, I feel comfortable with you. So when I'm like, if I were to be like earnest and vulnerable, you'd be like, ew.
I don't know why I completely forgot. I thought you were a Gemini, and I was just like thinking of you with like Gemini traits, and then it hit me, duh, she's a lion.
She's a lion, Leo, but I'm also Scorpio rising, Virgo moon. Do with that what you want to.
Supposedly, they say that sometimes whatever your rising is what you end up attracting. Which, LOL, your husband is a Scorpio.
Dude, what the fuck?
Isn't that kind of
funny? I love
funny?
that you remember that.
Yeah, of course. Duh.
That's
Scorpio.
Crazy.
As a Scorpio.
I love Scorpios. My best friend's a Scorpio too. And you're a Scorpio.
That's why you love me.
I do. No, I fucking love you.
Not enough to invite me to the wedding, but
absolutely
enough
not.
To be here today.
Honestly, the $200 would not have been worth it for your plate, you know?
Yeah, I get that.
Times are tough.
I don't blame you. Yeah.
Scorpio is, I feel like, what I am deep down. But Leo is how I present. And Virgo is like my anxiety side, like working hard.
Virgo is your emotions.
Yeah.
Like Virgo, your moon is your emotions of who you are and emotionally behind closed doors. But they also say as you get older, your rising means less because your rising is the mask you put on when in front of people. So as you get older, you stop caring to put on a mask, and that's why supposedly your rising can fade. And then your moon is who you become supposedly as you get older because you become more open with being who you are. Like my moon is Aquarius, which is really hard to be a Scorpio Aquarius because I've have like all these emotions and I'm so detached from them too.
Oh, I'm stressed out by that. But I do like the fun combinations though.
I love having a Aquarius. I mean, my sister, every time she listens to my podcast, she's like, can you stop talking about zodiac signs? I'm like, you're so right. I'm sorry. Because like, are they real? I don't know.
I want to do like a video where I just go up to guys and ask them about their signs, because guys give the funniest answers. I've done it before on podcasts. I'm like, what's your sign? And guys are like, Scorpion. And I'm like, okay. Or they pretend they don't know it even though they do, because they want to be like cool.
Well, this one guy one time told me that he was like, yeah, I'm a Virgo, but to be honest, I don't give a shit about zodiac signs, but then I'll just go along with it just so I can fuck the girl. And I was like, okay, cool.
But it's also like, yeah, like I don't give a fuck about crypto and you believe in it and I'll let you talk about it, so you fuck me. Okay,
you believe in it, but the rest of the market doesn't.
We're even. I'm looking at the numbers, but we're even.
Okay, so what do you think, what's the weirdest thing about you that most people don't know?
What people don't know about me is I think how like type A workaholic I am, because I think I come off really like I'm just like chill and funny and like and wild, but like I don't party that much. I'm a homebody and I just like I can kind of be a worrier and I put a lot of pressure on myself. I'm sorry that's sad, but like that's
me
what
too.
I do.
But no, I think that makes sense. As a Leo, like zodiac signs, yeah, but as a Leo, like you're hardworking.
Yeah, and as a Leo, some Leos like materialistic things, and I'm not like that, but I do like crave to have a voice. Like I like to be a leader and I like to be heard, which is like I fucking talk for a living, so that's appropriate for me.
Yeah, people always think that I'm a Leo because of the vibe I give off because I like to be a center of attention, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I have Leo in my first house, maybe that's why.
Yes. But I also think with women, if you want to get attention, people can be like, oh, she loves attention. Where like, I really think certain people are put on this earth to entertain.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, oh, I'm being selfish because I want to be on a TV show or I want to have a podcast. And then I realized like, no, you're not being selfish. You were put on this earth because you are an unfiltered swine.
But also, so what? It's hard. It's like, be confident, not too confident. Yep. Be passionate, but not too passionate. Mm-hmm. Too passionate, you're
sexy, not too sexy.
One time somebody asked me for advice and the question really irritated me. Someone was like, oh my God, sometimes my friend really acts out and like needs all this attention and she's so embarrassing. Like, what is she doing? Like, should I tell her how embarrassing she is? I'm like, excuse me. Like, no, do not, because you know who's embarrassing you for being so judgmental, A, but B, you're watching her, and just because you can't live your best life and not care what other people think doesn't mean she needs to start caring.
Yeah, or that friend is being a critic. It's like all the haters.
That friend is being a cunt.
Like, they're a critic / cunt, a crunt, and they're outside looking in. They're outside looking in. They're not doing it. They're the critic, and critics never get awards. I like that question of what makes you weird, because that's like the concept on TikTok right now of being like, don't let people call you cringe. Like, you be cringe. If that's cringe, fuck it. Just do it. And not being afraid of people thinking you're cringe. I also think with me, there's a lot of things that I don't care about that other people do. And like for example, like my toe is disgusting and I've just accepted it. I had a ski accident. She's learning to love herself. Some people be like, I'd rather die than walk around with that toe, and I don't give a fuck. Ooh. And you can say I'm cringe and I'm weirdo because my toe's ugly, but you know what? I'm normalizing ugly toes.
If someone was like, I'd rather die than have an ugly toe, like how nice and amazing and privileged your life is, that is the worst thing to happen to you.
But also, if I was afraid of being cringe, I would have never posted my stand-up on TikTok. And if I never posted my stand-up on TikTok, I would have never grown on TikTok and like have people know who I am. But it's so easy to look at a video and be like, okay, who might not think this is funny? So many people, but do you think it's funny? And also, like, I'd rather do it and fuck up. I think the people between people who are doers and not is some people, it's not that they don't want to do stuff, they just freeze themselves with so many questions of if it will be cringe and what people will
it's
judge.
Like, well, I would never do that. Okay, well, that's where you are, where you're at.
Yeah. And that's fine. You don't have to do it, because I'm like, there's certain things I can't do. Like
play piano. I can't play piano.
Should never sing. Should never.
I should never sing either.
That's why, like, you will never see me out here being like, any other person sucks at singing. No, because I couldn't come near to even trying.
I think I told the story a long time ago. The first time I first created a blog, like 2 years before I did Daddy Issues, I created a blog about dating. but I was never a good writer. I'm dyslexic. English was my third language. I was always very insecure when it came to my writing. And then I remember I created that blog and I wrote something about it's like to help women to go through if you find out your boyfriend is dating someone else at the same time and how the two girls should come together. So I'm kind of saying like, and our mutual friend who was a journalist saw that and she goes, oh my God, what is she doing? That's so embarrassing. And I was mortified. I deleted that blog that day. And then 2 years later, I created Daddy Issues anonymously and only my few close friends knew that I had that. And she found out again. And then she said the same shit. What is she doing? That's so embarrassing. This one was like, I don't care. Like, this is the only thing that's helping me through depression. It sounds like
a you issue.
Exactly. She's still jumping around from like profession to profession, like journalism. Because you forget a lot of times when people are being hateful and things like that, they're going through something in their own life and they're projecting, because like only hurt people. And if you're constantly angry and negative, then of course you're going to spew negative comments to other people.
Also, someone recently had a quote where it's like, don't take advice from people who have never even been where you are. Like, it's so easy for people to just give opinions on something where they've never even been in your shoes or in that same situation. And also a lot of the time, like, you have the game plan. People are judging you in like when I quit my job at 26 and started interning at a video company, in my head, I was like, I want to be on TV one day. But other people were like, Hannah's not doing that well. She's interning. And if I had listened to them and been afraid of judgment at that time, because 2 years from then, people are like, oh my God, how'd you get on a TV show? Oh my God, that's amazing. Same people who 2 years ago were like, oh my God, Hannah's not doing very well.
And then they think it's easy, but in reality, it's because we go through the embarrassing moments where we know people are going to be hateful or judge us. We go through, I constantly get rejected and hear no's for things that I want to do.
My advice for stuff is a lot of people just have trouble with the beginning phase, like afraid to start a podcast because what if people don't listen?
Yeah.
Where I kind of do stuff for the story where it's like, I want that hard time because I'm gonna be on a podcast one day with you and talking about when I was getting paid $300 an hour. I mean,
wow,
that was nice.
That's a struggle.
Amazing. It was so difficult for me. No, $300 a week to like try to make funny videos and like getting them rejected all the time. Cause I fucking love the storyline of like me failing. Cause I'm like, one day I'm gonna tell a story about how I got to where I am.
Yeah. And a lot of the things we do are also free until we actually get hired for jobs. And that's why I think a lot of times when people see, because social media is so fake and not real, that a lot of times people see anyone having a good day or posting something funny and going viral, they just assume you went from zero to that. So then they won't even, a lot of those people don't want to put in the work, or they don't want to work to intern somewhere because they're like, no, I deserve everything now. But it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Because they don't know the in between. They just look at someone, they're like, oh, they're doing amazing.
And it's a marathon, not a sprint. And I also recently said this quote, but it's like we're all popcorn. It might be the same temperature, but people pop at different times. And you just have to like be on the alignment of where you want to go and focus on that. If you're on your path, you're on your path, and it'll come when it's supposed to. I mean, I don't want to sound woo-woo. I've been in LA for like 2 days and this is what I do now. But like, I really believe that you want to go towards what brings you joy, that like if you weren't getting paid, you'd still enjoy it.
I like hearing that. Actually, that actually just made me feel better.
It makes me feel better too.
What's the key to finding a husband like Hannah did on this episode? I'm still not sure because I'm still trying to figure it out myself. But I do know the key to consistent good hair days when you use ingredients that benefit your hair. Function of Beauty is one of today's sponsors, and they make hair care products that are 100% customizable, made for your hair specifically, where it's at now and where you want it to go. If only I could find a guy who works the same way. Function of Beauty is the world's first fully customizable hair care that creates individually filled shampoos, conditioners, styling, and treatment formulas based on your hair now and where you want it to go. Founded by a dream team of engineers and cosmetic scientists, each Function of Beauty product is individually designed to be as unique as you are. They offer over 54 trillion possible formulations. That's insane. And every one of them is vegan and cruelty-free, and they never use sulfates or parabens. You can also go completely silicone-free. So even if you're filling your body with terrible things like fast food, drugs, and men who are bad for you, at least your hair can be healthy. So this is how it works. First,
You take a quiz online to kind of build your hair profile and select 5 hair goals like length, volume, oil control, and so on. Like, does your hair get frizzy in the winter but oily in the summer? Because they have everything for you, including your hair needs the change. Next, you choose your color and your fragrance, or you go dye or fragrance free. Then you get your freshly filled formula delivered straight to your door and prepare for good hair days ahead. And actually, my Function of Beauty bottles have my name, my brand name on it, Daddy Issues on it. So you can also customize that. So say goodbye to generic hair care for good today. Go to functionofbeauty.com/adulting to take your hair goal quiz and you'll save 25% off of your first order. That's functionofbeauty.com/adulting to let them know you heard about it from this show to get your 25% off of your order and supporting my podcast. Love you. Can we talk about really quick how stressful life has become for all of us just to exist, whether it's work, relationship, politics, just opening your TV and everything in between. We all fall into these little ruts sometimes and we all need something to put us back into balance. So if you search around the internet, even ask some of your friends, you learn that all sorts of people are microdosing to feel healthier and to perform better in their day-to-day tasks. Today's show is sponsored by Microdose Gummies. Microdose Gummies delivers perfect entry-level doses of THC to help you feel just the right amount of good. The best part about them is that they really do taste amazing. Trust me. Remember your chewy gummies that you used to take when you were little that you just wanted to eat the entire jar of? Well, that's kind of how these are for me. I use them to help me mellow out when I find myself a little too on edge, or even to get me in the zone when I just know I have a ton of work to complete that I put off to last minute, which is all the time. Don't judge me. I know you've been there too. So Microdose is available nationwide. To learn more about microdosing THC, just do a quick search online and go to microdose.com and use my code adulting to get free shipping plus 30% off of your first order. Links can be found in the show description, but again, that's microdose.com and use my code adulting to get free shipping and 30% off of your first order. Plus, you'll be supporting this podcast. Enjoy.
Because it's true. And our career with social media, so many people get famous in like a second and stuff like that. But you really want longevity. Like, I don't want to have a boss ever. I want 2 things. I want to be happy. And under that, it includes not having a boss. For some reason, the two come together.
What's your definition of happiness?
Oh my God. My definition of happiness is when I feel light, when I'm not spiraling on like issues, when I'm not putting pressure on myself, what I'm currently working on is being happy with myself, not with like my accomplishments, like to just be proud of me without like Hannah, the former tennis player, Hannah, the great podcaster. Like, I just want to be good with Hannah.
Yeah.
And that's like my current journey. Like, if I lost it all.
Oh. That sucks
like,
for you. Ew, get out. Ew.
Because I think with that, then you almost have this, you're not as dependent upon and like clinging to little successes and things might flow more naturally.
I think 100%. I think it's...
So I did therapy this morning, so I actually wrote it down.
Okay.
I wrote down who I am without the exterior stuff.
Yes, that's so true. Because then when you start to focus on those little things, like sometimes, I have so many different accounts, and even on Daddy, should be like, okay, oh my God, there's a bug on Instagram because this memes are not doing well. Like, oh my God, my engagement going to go down. Shit, I have to post for this brand.
And then you feel worthless.
Yeah. And then you kind of have to not spiral and you're like, okay, relax.
Yeah. Because, I was on a TV show and then I was off it. I was on 2 TV shows at the same time. And then I like lost them both. And then I was like, well, who the fuck am I? And like, you can't live your life like that.
Yeah.
You have to be yourself. And then like you're living through other experiences, but you have that, but it's based on how I was raised. Like, I was a tennis player. So from like the age of 8. So when I'd win, people were nice to me. When I'd lose, there was bad reactions around me. So I learned at a young age, when you succeed, good things happen. And that's not like a safe way to sustain happiness. That's a lot of like highs and lows. And as I've gotten better at this, I've become more less result oriented, and I actually end up performing better when you're not all like, if you only post for the engagement, eventually you're gonna like lose connection with the content.
Yeah.
But if you actually just love finding funny content, I feel like the engagement comes and you last longer doing your job, because you're not like stand up, for example. If I'm only focused on getting a lot of laughs, like you feel really out of control and scared. But if I go up on stage being like, I can't wait to try this new joke, it's such a more fun experience for me.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, is this joke gonna hit? Because then you walk off and you're like, the joke didn't work. Instead of, oh, I'm glad I worked on that. It's
But
really perspective.
a lot of times people say that you need to be with someone who's the opposite of you, but being such a outgoing and a comedian person, and then getting with a partner that also loves the stage, is it hard to sometimes share the stage with that person, or are you guys able to kind of allow each person on some days to be the center of attention and then to kind of sit back?
That is such a great question, because I always thought I had to be with a wallflower, and I was attracted to like shy, confident guys because I thought they were mysterious, and I'm like, what's it like to not like every single thought that goes in your head have to word vomit it out, because that's how I live my life.
Yeah.
But then a lot of the time I would kind of get bored, and then I would be like, wait, I'm just like entertaining you the whole time, and I'm bored
Like the
with myself.
most interesting thing about you is me. Got it.
Exactly. And sometimes you think they're mysterious, and then you're like, oh no, you're just
Boring.
quiet and boring.
You're just
But they'd be hot, so I'd stay with them for a while. So Des, even though I told myself I'd never be with a comic, I said I didn't want to be a loud guy. Des is loud, like lights up every room, a comedian. But we're different in that like he's not competing with me at all. And we have the kind of personalities that are also different. Like we're not the same kind of loud, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like I can be a little more like goofy, sillier than him, and he's more like tough guy, like jokes type person. So we actually have really good chemistry in that way, and he fucking gets me because he's experienced a lot of stuff that I've experienced. It's a little annoying because he'll be like, I made this mistake, I don't want you to, and I'll be like, well, I need to learn that for myself.
Yeah.
Which he agrees with. But I like being with someone who, when I say something, like they get it because they've actually walked those shoes before. We're similar in a lot of ways, and we're different enough. Because think about like your friends. You like to surround yourself with people who kind of like get your job, but you don't want someone who's identical to you. And I think me and him are different enough, but like in the same place where when I say I'm doing podcasts all day, he knows exactly what I'm doing because he's doing it too.
I actually realized as I've gotten older and with what I do that I've been, the end of the year, I made like a little tiny list of people I want to be friends with.
Oh my God, it's so cute.
You were obviously
Number one.
on it. Number one, yeah.
How's it feel to have like the most famous person you've ever met on the pod with you today?
It's honestly insane. I'm so thankful.
I know that.
No, but
Yeah,
the
you put a list.
The women on my list, they were not women who are influencers or anything like that. I think in the beginning when I first started this, I was just like, only people who do what I do will understand me. So I'd just rather be surrounded by people like that, because a lot of times if they don't do what you do, they either want to use you for something or they ask you a lot of questions and you're kind of like, oh my God, why don't you just know this stuff? And then I realized is that people are always going to think I'm someone else if I keep pretending to be someone else. And it's not that hard to just open up and be okay with just, you know, being yourself, and then people get to know you, meaning I don't have to only be around influencers and to feel like they get me. Other people don't get me because I'm not showing them who I am. So that made me realize, so when I made the list, it was more women who are in business who don't do social media. So like the friends I started having.
And you are a full businesswoman.
Yeah. And it was so much better because a lot of times, I'll be honest, I like being friends more, I would say, with actors than influencers. Like I get along with everyone. So no one actually knows my real opinions. Because
I don't have opinions.
I'm not the person I'm really outgoing and fun. So I don't like to have beef with people. I'm just like, I don't like hating on other people. So I'm that person that's friends with everyone, but no one's really friends with me. That's terrible.
But that is like kind of LA, I feel like.
No, it's not LA. I would say it's Russian. I'm guarded in a way that I'm okay with being with myself. I don't like to depend on people. But the friends that I have now, I love.
Yes.
And they don't do social media, and I love that, and we still understand each other. And it just because sometimes you hang out with social media people and all they talk about is like likes and things like that.
Well, I think we get along because I personally see you as like a comedy content creator.
Yeah,
like you have a comedy podcast and you're like the like funniest meme page, you know? So
Facts.
but we all can relate that like we do some influencing on the side too, me and you. So I'll be like, oh, are you doing this with this brand? And that's fun, but like it's not everything for us.
No.
And like Des, for example, I teach him about the social media side of the business, and he's kind of thinks it's cool that I do these like branded things, and I teach him what gifts are, and like so we have enough difference. But I also admire like a lot of the things that he knows that I don't know.
That's really cute how much you guys love each other. And I love also the fact that that was not what you imagined you would end up with.
He totally was not. And I had a psychic actually be like, you're going to end up with a kind of guy that isn't your type. And I was like,
No
short?
way.
I was like, short? And she's like, oh God, no. And I was like, thank God. But it ended up
thank
being
God,
an
not
older
that.
man who I've never really been into older guys. That was never like my thing. And I do think you should open your brain to like what might interest you. It also reminds me, okay, it's like a sports analogy, but like some players make bad coaches because they can't coach people who are not like them or are not like as hardworking as them. And this seems weird, but it's like I like him because he really gets me. Like you don't want to be with someone that's so different that like you guys are missing each other. Like you can't even comprehend how their mind works. Like, or sometimes I think he just like, it's like he's speaking to himself sometimes. Like we're weirdly similar.
So then, but before you met him and you realized he was the one because you guys fucked on the second date and
Yeah.
you were just trying to have fun. I
Yeah.
remember that story on
Yeah.
the beach.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
But before that, were you dating younger guys or was it?
Oh my God. I love dating hot men.
Right.
Like I thought it was like powerful to surround myself with just like hot men that I didn't necessarily respect. Not that I wasn't really into them, but like it was my own emotional guard that I'm like, I can't get hurt if I don't actually like
respect
them.
Yeah.
Which sounds so fuckboy of me, but it really was like me protecting myself. So like during quarantine, I was 29, single, living with my parents. I met a football guy on Raya. And he like just retired. He was injured and he was just like FaceTiming me. He was partying in Miami, definitely like fucking girls all the time, but like wanted to FaceTime me at night. So I just like, I like that attention. And he would always joke. He's like, oh, I'm not partying or whatever. And I'm like, you're in Miami and I literally know what's going on. But I like had fun with the flirting, but obviously there was no like trust or like longevity in that. And then I also was talking to a guy on reality TV with me who I had a romantic storyline with, where we're teasing and playing games with each other because we're like, what's gonna happen with us and the show, and people care about us, what's gonna happen, who's gonna, you know, have the power, who's gonna break up with who. Like it's so fucking toxic. And like I guess I like liked game playing a little. Yeah, because I'm an athlete and I'm like, oh, we're playing games. Like if that's your love language, I'm like, okay, I'm down to play games. And Des was the first guy that was like, if you want to play games, that's cool, but I'm just like not into that because I like you. And
that throw you off where you're like, oh.
It threw me off so much because most dudes, if they started being drama and being like, why'd you do this or why'd you cancel? I'd be like, okay, go find someone else because I'm literally just want to have fun with you and I like you. And if you're going to be annoying, then like, please leave. Like I would literally be like I never fought with guys. And if they tried to fight, I'd be like, I don't need that. I was very like, my dad put this in my brain at a young age. He was like, never let a man distract you.
Ooh.
So if I felt, which is like toxic in its own way.
No, it's not. Do you know growing up how much I let my boyfriend distract me to the point that like I was so desperate for him to love me. I would be walking to class at university. My boyfriend would text me and be like, I want to have sex right now. And I'm like, can I see you later? He goes, no, now. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm there. I would leave the class to drive to him. And he's like, where are you? And I'm like, sorry, babe, you live really far. And he's just like, okay, I'm going to start without you. And I was like, I don't even know what that means.
Oh my God.
I'm almost there.
You're like, with who?
And then every time he would dump me, one time he dumped me on my 21st birthday, I just laid in bed and I was crying, and that ruined my whole birthday. I didn't want to get out of bed, like, because I couldn't process what it's like to be without a partner. That because I'm like, I was so close to having someone finally love me, and now he doesn't love me, and like I'm nothing.
Now I realize why you're having this like kind of solo era, because like you fucking needed to repair that shit to be like, you are so the universe is basically forcing you to be so fucking self-sufficient that you like lose it. Sometimes I don't think I even realize it, because people always tell me, wow, you're so independent and you're such a boss bitch, and then I tell stories like this, I'm kind of like, whoa, I forget for a second that
So it's hard though, but you don't want to also go too extreme because it is nice to have a partner. So it's kind of like you have to find your
And
way
when
in
he
the
said
middle.
don't let boys distract you,
That's
but it didn't mean they didn't, because my thing is just, when I really like someone, like I really like someone, so I will like spiral with stuff. I'll get obsessed with it because I like the high of having a crush.
Yeah.
So I know exactly how it feels to like wake up and like you feel like shit, or you're like obsessing about a guy, and I hate that fucking feeling. Or like when things are breaking up and you just feel horrible. So I was very about if I'm gonna get emotions for someone and that will distract me, it better be fucking worth it. So that's why I think I had a lot of these relationships with these guys who were unavailable, or guys that like I had so much control over that I didn't care if we stayed together. And yeah, so I would go from being with guys who like I would literally just boss around, but you don't really like them because you don't respect them in that way, or you go to the extreme where you have no control and you're anxious and you're in your head, and I would just go back and forth.
Oh yeah, that's me. That was
flip.
me too. Yeah,
because the second you lose all control, then you find a guy you can control, and not in like a manipulative way, more just like you're so fucking sure that he's into you, but that's not healthy either. So long story short, I really was kind of emotionally unavailable because I was like, I have shit I have to do, and I can't have men make me feel not full and myself. And I think there's a reason why I met someone at a time that I was like really kind of secure in who I was, and I actually was enjoying being single. It's always when you like being single, I feel like that you're open, you see the right guy, because I would fall for like any tall dude.
Yeah.
Any tall dude that gave me attention, I would fall for them because I was like wanting it. Where Des kind of like, in the beginning, I was like, this guy's probably a narcissist. This guy's a comic. Like I came into it real with walls up, and he just broke it down.
That's so funny.
I was scared. He scared me because I'm like, this guy will break my
He
heart.
scared you.
I was like, he's the kind of guy that'll break my heart. He's charming.
Aww.
He's funny. He's handsome. He doesn't need me.
But you never know. I'm kidding. It's like
No,
it still could.
no, for
you
sure.
never. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
But you never actually
a
know.
joke.
You never actually know. Even everyone's like, when you know, you know. Getting married is a risk. It's a decision. It's a creative decision. And I like decided to take that risk with this guy. And I've actually, it's been very secure. It's been really simple.
Simple.
It's been very simple.
I think that's simple is good.
Yeah. And also you have you learn from your parents. Like my parents' marriage is really, really good in a way that like they always just like they come home from work, they have dinner together, they watch the Knicks game. And that's what I grew up on. Like they're not flashy, they're not like doing crazy things, or not on social media. So I kind of wanted my relationship to be really simple because my life is chaotic as shit.
Yeah.
I don't need my relationship to be like people who like love drama. I'm so bad with drama relationships. I don't fight. I probably need to fight more, but I'm always avoiding the fight. It's not worth it.
Yeah, I agree.
I've never said sorry more than in this relationship.
Oh, really?
Like he's the first guy I put my tail between my legs and I'm like, I'm sorry. Where other guys, I'm like, fuck you, go away.
Yeah, well, I think it's also because you go on social media and the way some influencers or celebrities are so obsessed with the hype of their relationship, they'll post like, you know, they do those things where they stare in each other's eyes and it's all loving, and then or like something very intimate, and you're kind of like, who's filming this?
It's so bullshit. And then when they break up, everyone's like, I don't believe in love. And I'm like, that wasn't love. You're watching a literal made up fairy tale.
Exactly. So then you start dating someone, you're kind of so, okay, well, if we don't have this passion, I don't want it. The passion's not real. That's why it's not happening.
I literally have a stand-up joke about how movies, you know, when they have sex, they're like knocking over shit, breaking shit. And I'm like, Des has never broken a bookshelf. Does he even care about me? You know?
Yeah.
But it's like, these are media things. And also, I've recently joked, like, if their captions are more than 3 sentences, they hate each other. If they say there's been ups and downs, someone cheated. Like if you have to have 3 sentences talking about how much you love someone,
just text it to them.
Just
call them.
Oh my god, when people comment on each other's like miss you baby, looks like hang out with each other. Why are you displaying that for people?
No, it's like when people for Mother's or Father's Day, when they're kind of like, you are the best parent I've ever had, and blah blah. It's like, did you remember to call your dad though to wish him a happy Father's Day? No, I was really busy making this caption. Does your dad have social media? No.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
What is the purpose when you post something? Think about it. You post for a reason. There's always an incentive. People who post their relationship too much are overcompensating.
Yeah.
Too
Or
much.
And then the relationships, there'll be captions like, babe, I love you so much. Yeah, sometimes we fight and you shart a lot. And like, then I have to like wipe your like shit on the pants. But like, you know, that's love. And then, yeah, sometimes you snore and I haven't been able to sleep for days. And then you're like, girl, are you okay? Like, what's going on?
Like, is this a cry for help?
Like, is
Do
everything
you
okay?
need to stay over?
I haven't seen the
I have
sun.
a room for you if you need it.
Like, sometimes you really break my heart and I'm crying for 7 days, but then that one smile you give me, it's so worth it. And then yeah, you kind of killed my cat, but like I got over it because the way
Love is real because you can't stop loving. And it's like, bitch, like, stop. Like, talk to your man.
go to therapy.
I just think the posts of couples together, it's literally it's just to show off whatever like you want your love to look like.
But when I start doing this, shut your mouth and look the other way, okay?
Oh my god!
Because I promise you,
you're gonna be silly. You're gonna be silly.
You're
You're gonna post funny shit.
I'm gonna
I know.
be silly.
I know
can't.
you're gonna have like you're gonna look gorgeous together, but you're gonna be like just fucked in the bathroom. LOL. Like you're gonna say.
I just
funny
want
shit.
a guy that can post really ugly pics of me because I feel like that's when you know he loves you. Like
You know
I think it's
how
adorable.
when guys have like all these cute candid photos of their girlfriend, like
And they're
Des
the worst.
never does that.
Oh, okay.
No, he never posts. He never takes photos of me. Should I break up with him?
Yeah, I don't want to say anything, but wow, that's what a deal breaker.
Toxic, red flag, red flag. Why is your phone like tons of photos of me sleeping? Do you even like me? No, because he's like not on his phone. He's like one of
No,
those
I don't know.
guys.
It's so stupid, but like I think you're right. So I do like the silly things. It's not those. It is cute when obviously a post of you looking beautiful, but I think like when I see people post the ugliest pictures of their girlfriend and then it's like you swipe
like,
through
they're
and it's
in
like
love.
all these candid ones, I'm like, that's love.
It's or like when their TikToks are just like really stupid, and you could just tell they're being themselves.
Yeah.
They're not playing a role of what a boyfriend and girlfriend should be. Because
Yeah.
really, like it's two people that are connected and happen to fuck.
Yes.
That's what it should
It's
be.
like stepbrother and sister.
Not.
No? Okay. I've been watching too much porn.
I'm obsessed with you.
No, but like that's how I can tell. Usually I feel when someone gets really playful with me, or when I'm looking ugly or do something silly and a guy that I'm talking to or dating pulls out his camera and starts filming me, that's in my brain. I look and I'm like, oh, this person likes me.
Oh, they're
like,
literally giving you light. Like they're
like
making you brighter.
Exactly. That's more adorable to me than it is, I think, when like if a guy that I'm dating posted a random caption about me, how much he loves me, and I haven't heard from him all
Like
day,
he cheated.
I would be a little literally
You cheated.
you cheated on me.
It's so funny is J-Lo posted like Valentine's Day like all these flowers that A-Rod got her, and I made a joke and I was like, he cheated. And then Bitch was right. It's like, what are you overcompensating for? I also think early in relationships when guys are saying things like you're so amazing, even just you're so amazing, or you check every box on my list, like these lines, I'm like, that's not real. Like he's gonna fuck you over.
Cool. So I've been working on not talking to people. I literally do this because I get so excited when I like someone. It's because I grew up so much not showing emotion, affection, and now that I've worked through it and I've gotten more comfortable with being more open and like even my parents say how now I'm back to being who I was when I was a young child, where I'm just like so happy with life and everything's light, because then somehow I think at some point in my life, like somehow my innocence got taken away from me too soon. So then, so afterwards, I think I was more closed off and like not angry, but not that friendly. And then I suddenly
But
back
it's
to
like
like
you re-healed your inner child.
Exactly. So I think I'm just so excited to finally have this part of me that I didn't have before. So I just
want
want
to express it.
Yeah. So now I'm kind of like, I'm so excited for you to be next to me.
But that's like authentic. That's not, it's just, I don't like when guys say generic corny shit to you.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, did you send this to 5 girls at the same time?
I always hope they didn't, but I feel like they probably do. Because I don't. I only have time to focus on one guy at a time.
And also, if you think about it, the guys you're being affectionate with early on, you don't actually know them.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. What was the one thing about love that scared you the most before you met Des?
How when it doesn't work out, it like really would fuck with my head. Like depression, anxiety. Like I've had relationships where like they make you truly a shell of yourself by the end of it if the person's not mentally healthy for you. That's fucking scary. That because relationships, think about it, the people you surround yourself with narrate your worlds. Like they like create the voices around you.
Yeah.
So it's really important. Like if you put yourself in a relation, like you hear relationships of like, oh, this person dated this person for 10 years and her career was shit during it because he didn't believe in her. Like fucking look at like Mandy Moore. Like where was she for 10 years? She was with a toxic dude. That's why she disappeared.
Really?
I do random research like this. Yeah. And then she got out of it and then she did This Is Us and she's blowing up now. But like for 10 years, she was like in a bad relationship.
Wow.
And that kind of shit scares me. Love can scare me because I feel like you can be with the wrong person that takes away from your soul.
Aww.
Or you can be with someone who like
lifts you up, gives you light.
Yeah. It's like with great power comes great responsibility. That person is with you all the time. They shape all your thoughts. They like you become like them.
Yeah, even research shows that as you get older, couples start to look alike.
Yeah, you dress the same.
No, the reason they start to look alike is because when you communicate, you start to have the same face expressions because you mimic each other if you like each other so much. So if you're smiling a lot, I start smiling a lot.
Yes.
You do shocked face, I do shocked face. So then we start to have the same wrinkles in the same areas. And that's what they look
Wait, that's
look alike.
fucking crazy.
Isn't
I mean,
it cool?
Des already, is ahead of me in the wrinkle department, but that was my choice to be with an older zaddy. I also, things that does that are so cute is like I'll like dance in the car to the radio and then I notice he will like copy my dance moves when he's trying to dance.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
And I was like, but he's not like doing it on purpose. I'm like, oh my God, he sees me do that and he does
when someone
it.
likes you, they mimic your behavior.
Yeah, and even if he doesn't like verbally be like, oh, like I love how you dance, like he just will like start doing the same move, thinking he's cool.
Well, they'll start copying your jargon and vice versa.
Yes,
like it's so
I started
cute.
saying like quite, which is because he's in Ireland. They'll be like, oh, that's quite nice. Like that's not an American thing.
Accent?
He has like subtly an accent sometimes. Okay. It's like but it's like also a Queens, New York guy. He talks like this, but he'll say like that's lovely, or like he'll be like it was bloody crazy, and you're like what? Like he says weird European shit too.
Yeah,
he's weird, but I do think I start doing the same things as him. So yeah, that person makes a huge effect on your life, and that's why I think marriage is a big decision that you make. I've just been listening to my gut because sometimes your brain will trick you. You'll talk yourself out of things or into things. You'll make up something about a person. I was really into like the idea of people, and I would like fall in love with the idea of people. But then my body will physically tell me to get out. Like I'll start having panic attacks because your body is like,
your body
you're not
knows.
tricking me. Your body fucking knows. So I've been like checking in with myself a lot, and like throughout the whole wedding, I was like very calm.
So then my question is, you know how when you do meet that person and it's going well, did you still have those moments for a second that you're like, maybe this isn't it? Or like, is it true that when people say when you know, so then it's supposed to just be completely breezy?
So early on, I was kind of normal where I was like, yeah, I'm really into this guy, but like he could fucking butcher me, like my heart. Like I was like, I could fall for this guy and he's probably, because like I like assholes.
Yeah.
I think like my dad is kind of like a funny, like tough guy. My brother used to be a fuck boy. Like I like feel comfortable around those kind of douchey dudes.
Well, you're also an athlete.
And I'm an athlete. I've dated the athletes, I've dated the comics, I've dated the worst kind of dudes, finance bros, like I've done it all. So I like a guy who's like kind of a dick. And they can be the worst kind of guys. And then my dad was a fuck boy. My mom literally was like the exception. So I had that crazy idea that
my
like
dad and my mom too.
I'd see the party guy and I'm like, I'm gonna fix him. So with him, he's a fucking bachelor. Like he was 45 and single. And I'm like, oh God.
What do you think about you was the one, or do you think he was just ready?
I think certain things happened in his life that timing wise, including the pandemic, he was like reflecting and he's like, I actually want a partner. Mm-hmm. And I think also he was at the point in his life where he's dated so much that he knew immediately that like I had qualities that were very compatible to him. And he knew before me.
Research shows that men usually fall in love with the woman before the woman falls in love with them.
Yes. And they fall hard.
Yeah.
And I do have to say, I'm very like feminist, like go for guys, but I find in all the healthiest relationships, men either know or they're not into it. Like I feel like they're like black or white. Like they're either obsessed with you or they're like, oh, we'll see.
Research shows it's within the first 3 months. They'll know if you're the one for them.
Des said
and
like
they'll continue dating you even if you're not.
I fucked him on the second date and he was like, knew that he wanted to be with me. Like there's no rules like that.
That's so sweet.
I literally was like afterwards did the whole like, oh my God, like I don't normally do
but
this.
It is interesting though with men a lot of the time it's when they're ready for it. But
his was a time, I joke like he was exhausted. And
No,
he
but
was like,
but
I'm
it's
ready.
the truth. So that's why a lot of times when girls are like, why wasn't I enough for this person? Blah, blah. Like you, and I say you can literally be the most beautiful woman in the world. You can be the Victoria's Secret model and he'll still not want to marry you because in his head, he's not ready for it. He has to decide to be ready for it. And then whoever comes into his life then suddenly has the moment to really be like, is this it? Is this it?
Yes.
This is it.
But I do also think that I was at a point where I was kind of ready too. Like we both, I don't want people to think like, oh, you're just going to be like thrown around until a guy's ready. You're actually not going to find each other. I think,
but
so you're
you
both
said,
ready.
what I like that you said, I was actually in a weird way in a very confident stage in that moment.
Yes.
And I like that because like attracts like, and you mirror your partners. Cause like I was attracting recently, and that's why I had to stop dating again, emotionally unavailable men. And I didn't realize that, I'm emotionally unavailable. Like I'm purposely dating guys like that so we don't end up together. And
to
then
this day, and this sounds bad, but like I don't need him. I want him. And that is like a powerful thing because people be like, I need him. Like, ugh, like I'm obsessed with him. I never felt like I needed him to be whole. And I think when I met him, I'd accepted that I'm single, 29, living with my parents during COVID. I, in about 3 weeks, was shooting another reality TV show about me being single and crazy. There was no room for him. Like I literally was just there as me without like any room for a guy. But I early on, but I also wasn't like, I'm not looking for it. I was looking for it. Like I wanted it. I just really
Thanks for being
didn't need
honest.
it. No, yeah, I wanted to meet someone,
it's
but I wasn't
confusing.
forcing. I
Yeah.
wasn't forcing it on the wrong people.
you were living your life, and that's what I think a lot of times that's what ends up attracting people into your life. When
Yes.
you're living your best life,
Yes.
and you don't actually need anyone, they're like, let me come in and ruin it, or marry her.
Not looking for someone doesn't mean you're just like sitting at home being like, I'm not looking, because that's what I would do. Like, okay, I'm not looking. Why doesn't they come?
I just had this conversation with my
You
friend
have
Alex.
to
That's
be
what I would do.
actively living your life, as in like doing things that bring you joy, and that energy of you enjoying things in life. Like you'll meet a guy in your own journey, not you just being like, I'm not looking.
Yeah,
Because
so,
you subconsciously, you're looking. It's just when you're looking too hard, you're not being authentic to yourself.
exactly, and that's what confused me. I just had this conversation last month with my friend Alex that just came on the show, and I think I'm so literal. I got confused because I keep hearing people, I'm not looking. I'm like, great, so I'll just stay home. I don't really have to put any effort, and it'll just happen. It's like, no, I have to leave my house. Okay, then say that.
Yes. You're like, you have to give the details to this instruction. But also he early on gave me the comfortability to be vulnerable because he was like, I like you. Like he would literally joke. Like
He made
he'd be
you
like,
feel
I want to
safe.
he made me feel safe. And I'm the kind of person that I'm like, okay, I have to impress them. I have to make them like me. When he early on was like, you're what I like. I like everything about you.
But that's very Scorpio. That's how I talk, because I'm very black
It was
and white.
so fucking
So I just
hot.
kind of get to the point.
I talk about, there was a time where like I was being insecure and I was playing some games. Like early on, I like posted some stuff with another guy. Like he was hot because I was kind of testing him. And he basically was like, hey, I like you. If you want to play games, that's cool. I don't want to be involved in this. And I fucking put my tail between my legs and I was like, I'm so sorry. I was like, oh my God, this guy like cares. Because I'm used to being like, you don't care. I don't care. You don't care. I don't care. Look at me not caring. And then I was like, holy fuck, he's giving me room to fall.
yeah,
And then I like made the conscious decision of like, okay, I'm going to trust him.
yeah.
And it could have ended badly, but like it took two to tango, and I didn't trick him. I didn't like change a way of myself. He decided he liked me, and I then was like, okay, I'll give this a try. But that's why like there's so many girls who are trying to like convince guys to like them, and it's like he knows, and wait for the guy who's like, I'm fucking obsessed with you.
This is what happens, and it happens to all of us, including myself. It's first a lot of the men who are not actually looking for anything. They give you attention for 2 seconds to pursue you, then you get comfortable for 2 seconds after, and then they kind of take a step back because they want to see you chase them. Then you accidentally,
dopamine.
yeah. Then you start to get that anxiety, and then you think because that anxiety in your stomach, it's not anxiety, it's because I like him so much. You start obsessing
Do
over
I like
it.
him, or is it butterflies or anxiety?
Exactly. You start, and then you just obsessing how to make him like you, and now you're figuring out ways what to do to make him like you, whether to post like sexy pictures on their
You
stories
have a whole
and things like
plan
that.
on how to run into him casually at 11 p.m. when he's out. Stop.
Exactly, because you forgot that you still don't know him, and you forgot that he has to impress you. You have to figure out if you like him.
He's giving you a drug. You just snorted a drug and it felt fucking good, and then he took it away from you, and now you're like wanting it. You don't know the guy. And also like, stop trying to like trick these men. Like, trust that it's the right guy. Think about like a friendship. It's the same thing. You meet someone and immediately you like each other. You give each other like the space to want to be together. And you know, a friend where you're like, oh, they want to hang out with me. How good does that feel? Stop trying to force dudes who are like, who knows what the fuck they're up to. Just like have some, when I say self-respect, it's like have some respect that you know that there's guys out there who are going to be obsessed with you. And know
exactly.
that.
And you have to remind yourself that, because then you have to feeling like shit about yourself, and you have to be like, wait, I was whole.
Yep.
A week before I met this man.
Yeah.
I can live my life
yes.
without this man. Who cares if he doesn't like me?
It's literally a high. And let's be honest, we're also hot. We're going to be attracted to tons of men in our life. You're going to have so many attractions. Who's actually like your life person is totally different things, and involves so many compatibility things that you can never decide from having a good 2 dates with him.
Yeah, you're so wise now that you're married.
I'm just like know everything about love now that I'm married. But I do like to give people my story, just like not that theirs is going to be the same, but that like this worked for me.
Well, yeah, you went from being a hoe to a housewife, kind of, but with a job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love that, because a lot of times people think, including myself, it took me a long time to understand this is not a thing, because, you know, growing up with daddy issues or whatever, you have childhood trauma, you're kind of like, well, once I find someone who loves me, then I'll be always happy, because that's happiness. Like love is happiness, because everything else I don't have love. So then I'll be happy. And then so kind of sad.
I had a really successful person message me recently, and I look up to her. Like she's someone arguably I get jealous of sometimes.
Isn't me?
Yes. But she messaged me and she goes, oh my God, I was just talking about you the other day about someone who has it all.
Aww.
And I started laughing, and I was like, you mean anxiety, depression, and OCD? And she's like, oh no, do you still have that even though you have a husband and a good career? And I was like, yeah. But the thing is, life is not perfect, and that person is your life adventurer with you. So like you have to find someone who's comfortable in the ups and downs with you. I went through something traumatic because my whole life was like, people loved me more when I won at tennis. So I thought, if I'm doing really well in my career, people love me. And I got with Des. And then I had like a really hard season on reality TV where like my career was going bad, like literally getting like bad storylines and people hating on me. And that was my nightmare. Like a new guy I'm falling in love with is seeing like my career go badly.
That's my nightmare too. That's
and
so true.
I'm like, why would he want to be with me? And I even told him, I'm like, I'm feeling really insecure around you, because like I always learned that like doing well meant people loved you more. And if you lost, my dad would, you know, be disappointed in me. And I feel like ashamed around you. And he's like, that's something you have to work on within yourself, because I can't give you that, which was like annoyingly wise of him.
So wise.
Like so fucking, that's like old guys annoy me with that, because I'm like, oh, you actually like know things. It's hard to fight with them. So it made me realize like we went through the hardest time in my career life, like 6 months right after we got engaged. I was depressed, crying, all this stuff. And we survived it together. But the point is like your life isn't perfect. So they're just with you through the ups and downs. And like think of like a marriage thing, what you say, like through the, I mean, not like an Instagram quote, like the ups and downs, but like through hell and back, they're the person that's going to be with you.
So I'm thinking of an Instagram couple like, even if your engagement goes down, I will still stay with you. Even if you only get 90 comments on your picture, I will still love you.
But I was at a point where I actually like was losing followers because like some bullshit. And he got like so invested. He'd be like, oh, your followers are going up again. Like he was like supportive of me in that way, even though he doesn't care.
But that is so sad that you thought, you were like, everything's going shit in your life. And you're just like, okay, it's okay if you leave me because I'm not this great person.
Well, I had so much respect for him. And I was like, why would you want to be with someone who like people are not liking right now in this virtual world?
Imagine if he was like, yeah, you know what? You're right.
Yeah. Well, he said he'd have people DMing him like, do you know what this girl's like? And he's like, yeah, I know her for real, not through like a TV show. But it was hard on me, and you can't present yourself as your best self. But I just knew that like, okay, bad things are going to happen to him, and I need to be there for him. Like, let's talk about the reality of life. Like, he had to get a hip operation, and he's sad that he can't work out because that's what makes him happy. That's what marriage is.
Yeah.
I have to then be his partner through that.
That's so interesting. I agree with you because so again, that was the point that I was getting into, because you think, okay, once I find love, then it'll be perfect.
Once you find love, his problems
perfect.
become your problems.
Yeah.
Because you care about him. So you have like two people you have to care about now. And your problems are not any lighter. You just have someone who's like there next to you during it. but
Yeah.
it doesn't make the problems ever not happen. I'm still living my chaotic life, getting punched in the face by life all the time.
But that is the real, I think, test of
And
partnership.
he doesn't fix things.
Yeah, I actually really like that. The fact that he was like, I can't help you. That's the inner self. It was kind of like you have to be full on your
I literally just
like,
want
I'll
him to be
here
like,
for
baby,
you.
like, I love you so much. You're amazing. But he was like thinking deeper, how he was like, I can't solve these problems for you and be like, no, you're perfect and amazing. Cause like, this is your own inner turmoil from your past that like you're projecting onto me kind of thing.
Yeah, some people wouldn't love that type of advice.
No,
I love that type of advice.
Yeah, I like am used to like tough love.
Me
and
too.
He's very
So
tough
for me,
love.
I'd be
where
like,
he's
wow, you
I
love
was
me.
just like, babe, can you tell me you still love me? And he was like, the fact you're being insecure about this means you have some inner work to do. And I'm like, So anyway, but I love him because he calls me out of my shit and he's tough on me and he's no bullshit. And
But he stayed around through that, and that just shows like that's a real test of partnership where you're gonna have your downs, and if your partner is not gonna be like, you're not who you were when I met you, right? Because I'm going through something, and they're still there for you, and they're not gonna leave or run away because you're not giving them that high today because you're
I do have
depressed.
to say I am so not scared of like anything that happens to me because we got through that together, because that was like the most embarrassing time in my life. It was like super embarrassing in like a public way to like
Aw.
people like hating on you and stuff. And then it's funny because then it all goes away because it's all like virtual bullshit, and then like you continue your life. But with dating, if you're a good looking person, you meet another good looking person or whatever you look like. But I was just thinking about LA, how like you date all these hot people and you're just pretending you're like super chill and pleasant. Like it was good that he saw all these like fucked up sides of me that I didn't even know I had, because like I don't deal with this kind of drama normally day to day. He dealt with me at like drama at its highest, and he still loved me.
Yeah.
So it kind of is like Marilyn Monroe was right. Like if you can't handle me at my worst, then you don't deserve me at my best. And he literally had me at my worst.
Yeah, I love that. I think I'm just like you, where when I'm going through my downs, I definitely, the last thing I want to do is open up to my partner, until one day I realized that like that is who your partner should be your best friend. I never knew that your partner can be the one you have sex with and the one who's your best friend.
Yeah, I mean,
And
it's a
I'm
thin line. You don't
learning.
want to feel like you have a roommate where like you have routines and you
Yeah.
just become like, oh, this is a person in my house with me, and then the sexual chemistry is like lacking. But you also, it's important to have like an actual best friend that I could like talk shit with and cares about other things. But like they're your trust person.
Yeah, and a lot of therapists say this, and this is really true. One person can't be your everything.
No.
And that is why if anyone will listen out there and they'll be like, wow, I can believe Des said that. Okay, you're sensitive, relax. But it's because your partner still cannot be everything for you. So when he said you figured out on your own, I'm still going to be here though in his actions.
He knew that he did not want to be responsible for my happiness.
Exactly. And so
he didn't
smart.
give it to me. He was showing his love in a bazillion other ways.
Yeah.
Just in that moment, he was like, it's not going to solve anything, maybe for like 5 minutes, but then you're just back to like thinking that you need my he's like, I'm not your dad. I'm not. And I was kind of recreating that same pattern.
Yeah,
where like, just tell me you're still proud of me, even though I lost, is literally what I wanted from him, which
Yeah.
is so fucking deep and I've never talked about before.
Yeah,
in
that makes
moment.
a lot of sense. I can relate to that. Exactly. So I think that is what constitutes a healthy relationship, where you find the medium and you're like, yeah, you're right. I forgot for a second. You can't be my everything. You can't. Yeah, if you suddenly become my happiness, then I will lose myself in this person.
Yes.
The minute you're having a bad day, or we're going through a rough patch, I'm not going to know who I am. I'm not going to, I don't, like, you know what I mean? So
I mean, I like never cried to the point that I have to cry more. Like I should set like a good like monthly cry. When I was going through my hard time, I cried every day. Like that's not me, but like I had to.
Were you embarrassed to cry in front of him at first?
Yeah. Cause I crying to me was always meant like there's no crying in baseball. Like I was very tough. Like
or like there's no crying in Russia for me.
Exactly. No, like I mean, think about tennis. It's like there's a reason
Tennis
Russians
literally
there's
Russian.
a reason Russians are good at it, because like you have to always be strong, mentally focused, never show emotion.
Yeah.
So like that's how I was trained to be if you want to be successful. So like, and crying, like you're afraid it makes people uncomfortable, but yeah, like he saw me at my worst. But what's also cool is he then like saw me get out of it. He recently said something very cute where he goes, because he's like tough love kind of thing, which like I think is hot, but he was just like, by the way, like you recovered from it way faster than I thought you would. And I was like, what? And he's like, no, it's just really impressive. Like, I didn't expect you in a year to be where you are.
Aww.
And like, that was like from...
You're like, so you are proud of me,
so
Dad.
You are proud of me, Dad. Which again, he just like doesn't want to be the one to heal my daddy issues.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, you're going to keep repeating patterns
Yeah.
Until you can like solve stuff.
But
And
it's not that. You're also an athlete. It's different. You're always going to need the type of validation. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. But he, again, goes back to the fact of like, I want to love myself without all the external bullshit. Because once that happens, then like, that's power.
Yeah.
And then like, you're more comfortable in your relationship. Because he's going to have times where his career is bad. He's going to have times where he's insecure. And you can't have the person complete you.
Yeah. You can't have that person complete
And
you.
if you really understand that your relationship is literally just the same as right now, except like you have someone to share it with, but they don't make you in any capacity, you really would lose yourself in that way.
Yeah, it's hard, especially when you see all these fairy tales. Sometimes because the thing is though, with the Disney movies that we watch,
Fucked up.
it ends. The movie always ends when they get together, so we don't see what happens the next day. We don't see how their marriage is actually going.
You literally just see butterflies and rainbows and it's like the end.
Exactly. And they're like, okay, cool. But we don't see the rest of the struggle. So then we think like, okay, this person's annoying me today, or this person is not my everything. And I'm going through something and they're not like obsessed with making me feel better, lifting me up. That's it. We're done. Versus they're their own person. Like you have to lift yourself up.
Yeah. I feel like I have a teammate, but like he's not going to shoot the ball for me. Like he's my teammate. He's there. He's supportive. And it's nice to have someone like love you.
So has your definition of love changed now over the years, now that you were does?
Honestly, no. My definition of love was from my parents who got engaged in 6 months and are obsessed with each other. And I do have to say, like, I used to like get bored after a year with guys like sexually. I'd be like, I'm not really into him anymore. Like, I guess I'd like, the high would go off and then I'd be like, I don't like his personality and now I'm not attracted to him. Or before it was like all blurry. I just was like, this is fun. And then I'd be like, I don't like this. Or I got bored. I have ADD with men. Like I literally get bored. And with him, like I'm still so sexually attracted to him and I get like butterflies with him still. And he just knows me more than anyone. And that's like cute. Like this, it's the stupid shit. Like he knows that like I take 4-hour naps. And that's embarrassing. Like that's super embarrassing. But he knows once my eyes are shut, like he has to wake me up or I'm not going to see you the rest of the day. And like little embarrassing things like that I inhale my food and like that I'm addicted to working. I'll go on my laptop on a Saturday and he has to be like, stop working. So like those are things that other people don't know about me, but that's just like the stuff that we deal with.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go slit my wrist when this interview is over because you're just like, and then he does this and this, and I'm just like, great. So can't relate. I'm kidding. I'm like, you have to sit there and be like, oh, that's so cute, and inside you're like, I
do have to say one thing I do like about him is I really do feel like prettier without makeup around him.
Aw, that is really cute.
I just feel like, you know, the guy that you for some reason need to put on a lot of makeup, like even a FaceTime, that's like he didn't make you feel safe.
Yeah.
Where like Des will be like going out to something and I'm like, wait, I just want to put some mascara on, like to have respect for people, you know, not look like a full mole rat. And he'll be like, you don't need that. And like he really means it.
Yeah.
And that's that some guys, like I would feel ugly without makeup.
One time when I was talking to some guy forever ago, we were FaceTiming and he needed to vent about something. So I'm like listening, and as I'm listening, I'm putting on makeup. And then I kid you not, he's telling me like about to finish doing my makeup and he goes, oh wow, you look so different with makeup on. You look so much better now. And I was like,
oh Jesus.
Kill me. Like he literally had to stop from his venting and be like, oh wow, okay, whoa, you look so different.
And that's literally people seeing you through a certain lens. Like beauty is so in the eye of the beholder. Where like there are definitely guys out there that are like, if like they want me, I also never really wear that much makeup, but like they don't think my natural beauty is the most beautiful thing in the world. But that's
okay, because you don't need to be beautiful.
Which is like,
for
okay,
them.
if I show everyone a sweater of 10 people, how many people are going to love it or hate it? It's always going to be all over the place.
I don't know. Your sweater is pretty lit.
It's pretty dope.
In love with it.
It's pretty dope. Oh my God, thank you. Your tits would be insane in this.
I can't wear things like that.
Oh my God, I'm sorry, babe.
I know.
Sorry, I just have the perfect size boobs to work this. No, I'm obsessed with your boobs.
I know. I heard.
I
Thank
talk
you.
about it on every podcast. But yeah, long story short, it's someone that you want to have a conversation with for the rest of your life, and sometimes let them put their penis inside you or vagina, whatever you're into.
Yeah. Does he have a big dick?
Well, what I like about his dick is that it's curved.
I think, yeah, you mentioned
Did I
that
talk
before.
about that? Yeah, it just hits the right spot every time.
Really?
It is the best sex I've ever had.
It's the best sex you ever
People
had.
are always like, oh, the best sex you ever had is always with like the bad guy. But I also was never
No.
into like crazy weird sex. I was
Me
like,
neither.
I don't want to feel in danger during sex. That doesn't like turn me on. I'm literally running with anxiety, feeling like fight or flight all day. I don't want to feel like that during sex.
100%. Yeah, one
I
time
want to feel safe on a bed.
One time I had sex with a younger guy thinking like, okay, let's try to be like spontaneous. I
Yes.
was like, I'll be spontaneous because normally I only sleep with guys I date because I can count both hands how many men I've slept with. And I was like, I'm going to be spontaneous. I'm going to do it. And this guy was fucking like the way you would think a 22-year-old fucks and who watches too much porn.
Oh.
Not just jackhammer, he was like flipping around.
Aggressive.
And then he'd be like, can I put it in your ass? And like so much was happening. And I was like, wait, what? No, oh my God. I was like, ah! Like he was like, I was like mortified. I was just like, oh my God, I can't keep up. A lot is happening.
Older men, they're tired. They are not
Thank
trying
God.
to chuck you around like that. Well, my thing is, I have enough highs in my day. Like I perform stand up to people every night. Like that's scary. When I have sex, I just want to feel good. I want to feel loved. I don't need you to tell me I'm a dirty little slut. Like I also like get turned on when people love me.
Aw.
So like that's my turn on, is that like he likes me.
Yeah.
And you just want to feel like safe during it.
It's like, are you a dirty little slut that your dad doesn't love you? Dad doesn't respect you? You're like, oh my God,
your
stop.
dad is, now I know your dad doesn't love you. I also like, he doesn't mind that I don't shave my legs all the time. Like he'll joke, like he'll start like touching my leg and like laugh at me, where other guys will be like, ooh, like there's a reason he's my person, because I don't have to change that much for him. Only like 20%. I'm just kidding.
Do you feel though, having a partner that makes you feel so comfortable, not only are you able to be yourself, like do you feel like you're growing for the better?
It just feels like I have a team member that I didn't have before. He just like doesn't get in my way.
You are such a sport person.
I know. I'm
like, I have a teammate now. Before I was looking for a coach, and now I have a teammate.
No, exactly. But like every now and then he does get coachy, which I don't hate. But every now and then I'm like, let me make mistakes. Like, let me make my own decisions. I just felt like really like I don't need anyone, and I just like love having him. I don't feel like he makes me like that. Like they don't make you anything. They're just like, they're supportive, and that's nice. Just don't get in my way.
Yeah, I think that's really sweet. I think it takes a special type of guy to be with a strong woman, but then it's nice when you find that person.
Also, because like I met him where he's fully complete. Like he's had this career for so long without me. So like I don't think I make him any better. I'm just like literally there for him, rooting him on. Yeah.
I love that. Okay, guys, we're going to have to wrap this up. But anyway, make sure to check out Hannah's podcast, because I'm on her podcast and I'll be talking about my HPV. So
we're about to get even darker and crazier and naughty.
But this was a good podcast since it's all about relationships and love. And look, she's a hoe. If she can find her man, she used to be for the streets. Now she's not.
Now I'm in sheets that I haven't washed in a while.
Yes, but with
I'm
a
not
man.
Domesticated. But with a man in it.
Yeah, and her hairy legs and her hairy feet. She grows hair on her feet. No big deal.
The knuckles on my toes.
I know.
No
I saw this and I was like, I have not seen you in a while. Hey, buddy. That's the little hair on the feet that I remember.
Oh my God, my full hairy foot. Look, I'm Sicilian. Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it. All right. Anyway, so make sure right now to go to Berning in Hell with Hannah Berner and listen to my episode on her podcast. Where can people find you?
Follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Hannah Berner. And I have shows coming up in LA in September. I'm also going to be in Chicago, Portland, Tacoma, Wisconsin. Check it out, hannahberner.com.
Bye.
Bye.